I think everyone can agree that if there's one game that could really take advantage of the CD-ROM format, it's Shanghai. We're no longer limited to the floppy disks or ROM cartridges. Shanghai can now offer the truly expansive experience that can only come from the peak video game technology of 1990. We've actually already seen Shanghai once in this project, because a port of the original computer game was one of the two launch titles for the PC Engine. Shanghai II comes from a bit of a different place. And that's because this Shanghai II is not the proper sequel to Shanghai. Oh, it was the first Shanghai II released, since the original Famicom version came out in the middle of 1989, but Sunsoft developed that all on their own. The proper sequel to Shanghai is Shanghai II Dragon's Eye. That one was developed by Activision, who published the original game. So this PC Engine CD game is a port of a Famicom game that itself was a contractually allowed sequel made with no input from anyone involved in the original design. If you're not familiar with Shanghai, Shanghai II is a set-building game similar to Solitaire, only it's played with tiles instead of cards. To play, a Chinese mahjong set is randomly dealt out into a formation. A Chinese mahjong set has 8 extra tiles than the Japanese ones. The goal in Shanghai II is to remove all the tiles by matching pairs. You can only select a tile if it's not blocked by another tile on a horizontal edge though. And the top side has to be fully uncovered. The way this winds up working out is you're just hunting for pairs and prioritizing ones that unlock additional tiles. Because there's 4 copies of every tile, sometimes you're going to have to make choices on what you want access to, and if you pick wrong, you could easily wind up in a situation where there are no pairs for you to choose. So like the best puzzle games, the rules are simple, but there's a lot that comes out of them. The big question is, what does Shanghai II offer that the original Shanghai didn't? The biggest change is that there's now more than one pattern for you to play. The pattern from the original Shanghai is still here, called Dragon, but there's also 5 new tile patterns. You can play those patterns in order as a challenge, where a timer is ticking down and you get time back by finding pairs. There's also 4 tile sets that you can choose from. The first 2, I actually can't tell the difference between them. They're referred to in the options menu as Norm and Real, and they're both heavily desaturated and really blurry even on a CRT. The other 2 tile sets are Alpha and Original, and those are much easier to read and very brightly colored. If you get stuck, there's a fairly robust hint system where it can point out a pair for you, show you all of the pairs on the table, and let you rewind a move. The biggest thing that Shanghai II uses the CD-ROM for is the soundtrack. And it's a fine soundtrack, but not one that stands out so much that you'd have to have a CD-ROM to really get the rich depth of it. Shanghai II on the PC Engine gets absolutely no attention in Japan. The single person I found who had anything to say about it just called it interesting. So not exactly high praise. My take on Shanghai II is, it's fine. In terms of gameplay, it does what you'd want out of a Shanghai sequel, though I really hate those first 2 tile sets. They're just eye strain waiting to happen. There's a lot of versions of Shanghai on consoles out there, and I just don't see myself going back to the PC Engine version of Shanghai II. The CD-ROM just isn't enough of a boost to make me want to play it.